Back in the early 1970s, I was a struggling college student. Near the end of my junior year, I was so broke it looked like I was going to have to park my 1963 Plymouth Valiant and take Shanks Mare to campus. Either that or give up eating for a couple of weeks. Then one morning, I was headed to campus hoping to make it home on fumes later in the day when I saw a line of cars at a local gas station and even more cars queued up at the station across the street. I'd never seen a gas war before, but this had all the earmarks of one, so I quickly got in line. As I sat waiting, a station employee used a long pole to switch the price per gallon numerals under the station's logo from 17 cents to 15 cents. The station across the street quickly reciprocated, and by the time I got to the pump, I paid 11 cents per gallon. At that rate, I not only filled my tank, but a 5-gallon can I had in the trunk, and that was enough to get me through the rest of the quarter. Ironically, I missed my economics class while sitting in the line. Gas wars were infrequent, but they made sense. If you have 100 customers in a day who spend $10 each on gas, that's $1,000. If you have 500 customers in a day who spend only $2, that's still $1,000. But a portion of those 500 will also buy oil, air fresheners, newspaper, soft drinks, candy bars, etc. In the long run, both stations increased their bottom line substantially and their customers made out like bandits. Each station probably also picked up a few permanent customers out of sheer goodwill. I recount this story not to make you nostalgic for the 1970s, my least favorite decade, but to point out the importance of something that's rapidly disappearing in American life: competition. Corporations are always touting the free market as the ultimate arbiter of the economy. Let it work, they say, and everything will turn out peachy. Then they expend great effort to make sure that doesn't happen. One of the ways they do this is through the consolidation of industries. With fewer players within an industry, the incentive to reduce prices to attract customers is removed, and the temptation to act in collusion with a small number of competitors is great, with each taking a portion of the market and realizing a greater profit than if they had to compete. Was it an accident Coke and Pepsi, who between them control the soft drink industry, both raised their prices the same week? You decide. Supermarkets have been reduced to just a few chains, but at least there's some oversight in that area. Kroger and Albertsons just announced a plan to sell 400 stores to C&S Wholesaling to try and mollify antitrust regulators. Other heavily consolidated industries that need a visit from antitrust regulators include automobile manufacturers, cable providers, tire manufacturers, pharmaceutical companies, and gasoline and petroleum wholesalers, to name just a few. In every case, there is absolutely zero benefit for the consumer from consolidation. A more direct method corporations use to stifle competition is to simply buy up the competition and close them down. The tech industry in particular is quick to acquire startups with new ideas and fold them into their existing organization, or even purchase and suppress new technologies that might threaten their existing products. This isn't exactly new, of course. Remember when the automobile industry bought up and demolished the electric trolley lines in major cities, creating the smog-filled air and stationary freeways that plague us today? Probably not. That's not the kind of history we teach. Need I also point out that corporations use their ill-gotten gains to influence unscrupulous politicians to roll back regulations that hamper them and ignore the laws against predatory practices we already have on the books? These political bedfellows should have to wear jumpsuits plastered with the logos of their corporate supporters like NASCAR drivers do. The Roosevelts, Teddy, and Franklin managed to rein in big business to a degree, but over the decades, corporations have fought back and created a Franken economy that threatens to devour us all. I just received a message from my senior senator, Marsha Blackburn, herself no stranger to pharmaceutical largesse, calling Joe Biden a socialist for lowering drug prices. She claims any reduction in the unholy price gouging by the pharmaceutical industry will interfere with the development of life-saving new medicines, ignoring the fact that most new medicines and therapies are developed with our tax dollars and simply handed to the pharmaceutical industry to exploit. In a different era, the solution would have been for the peasants to grab their pitchforks and head to the castle, but we have it far easier. All we have to do is vote out Republicans like Blackburn and fellow traveling Democrats like Manchin and Sinema and fill the House and Senate with more Katie Porters and Elizabeth Warrens. The rest will take care of itself.